What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside with my co-host, the returning Forrest. How you doing tonight, Forrest?
Oh, I'm that hello's not a feeling, but I'm feeling very hello right now.
Feeling very hello. Well, I mean, that's good. I think hello would be positive. Let's say positive on that. Also joined by producer Jeff on the ones and twos. Jeff, how you doing tonight? Absolutely. Happy New Year to everybody. Today's show is pretty much a preview of 2023. We got some news headlines concerning, what could be coming up this year. We're going to
I
go over
really thought you were gonna say Bethesda Activision.
Well, we have one. We do have one.
Oh my god!
No, well, so we have one. We always have at least one. There's
I
look,
really thought we're gonna have some headlines Bethesda Activision. And then you're like, no, but we do have one.
well, we do have an Xbox Activision. Yeah, we do have one. We have one. We always, again, we're guaranteed to have one until this deal goes through. We're gonna have one. We do have it.
That's great.
But 98% of the show, or 99% of the show, is 2023. So this is a year that is going to be an extremely stacked year for video games. A really exciting year for pretty much whatever you play, whatever console, PC console, whichever console it is, genre, you name it. There's probably a few games you're looking forward to on the horizon coming up. I mean, that was due to the pandemic and also next gen console development cycles. It was a bunch of delays. The last few years have been kind of lean, kind of light, but that's leading into what's going to be a really, really strong 2023. So let's get right into the news headlines. So number one, Jeff Grubb, well-known games. I don't want to say leaker because he said something a few months ago that was like slightly misinterpreted, so he doesn't really leak stuff that much anymore. But he did mention that he heard from some sources that something's going to happen with Metroid Prime soon. He has no idea what it is, but he is noting that something Metroid Prime related is happening soon on the horizon. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4 was announced, about 5 years ago at this point, 4 years ago for the Switch. In which case, a few years later, they announced that they were restarting development completely. And, it's been kind of dead silence since. There's been a lot of rumors about a Metroid Prime trilogy coming to Switch. Forrest, have you ever played the Metroid Prime games?
They only played Fusion on the GBA, which is really weird. I did not get that far. I'm realizing I was a dumb kid when it came to video games. But it's funny, I'm watching what Jeff's putting up. Producer Jeff doing a great job already. I'm looking at that clip and I'm like, dang, I kind of want to play like.
Yeah, man. This is what you're looking at is Metroid Dread, which came out not
Yep,
2022, but 2021. I say
that's
last.
a side scroller
Yeah,
kind of, right?
yeah. It was the first side-scrolling Metroid game in about like a console one in like 17, 18 years. The
Yeah.
funny thing is that they actually announced Metroid Dread like 19 years prior to it coming out. And he was even teased in Metroid Prime on the GameCube. and then eventually it came out.
Wow.
Here's producer Jeff showing himself for a second there, a little Easter egg. What up to the trading Doge? What's going on, man? But yeah, I mean, so Metroid Prime is a fantastic trilogy of games, first-person shooter. Not even shooter. Nintendo doesn't consider them first-person shooter, but first-person action adventure shooter game.
Crosshair.
Yeah, right. But so yeah, hopefully we get some Metroid Prime news soon because I really, really want to play a Metroid Prime game.
Yeah, it'd be. I never played the GameCube one, but even if it's a remake of the GameCube one with like better graphics or even just port it,
Mhm.
like port your damn games, Nintendo. Um, Even if it's just a port, then I'm good. But I'd be down. I'd be down to try it at least. Like I'm open to it, and I'm a very stingy gamer, as you will see with my list. But yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. I'd kind of be down. I'd be down.
All right, moving right along. Again, a lot of rumors and reports about 2023 this week. The next one is coming on the Xbox side of stuff. According to reports, Redfall, which is the next Bethesda game, Arcane Studios specifically, exclusively coming to Xbox, is targeting an early May 2023 launch date. So obviously Redfall is one of the two big exclusive games coming from Bethesda that we knew were coming out. And as we talked about last week in our report cards, both Redfall and Starfield were delayed. We don't know exactly when these games are coming still, but as I said, the reports are saying that this could come, in early May. My first reaction to this is like, no, please don't come out near Zelda. Like, stay away from Zelda. But at the end of the day, they're going to release when they see the need to.
Yeah.
Also worth noting that today, the Starfield website, the official Starfield supporter help website, whatever it is, like the website that sells the game, on the website it says that Starfield is coming out in the first half of 2023. So could probably expect both of these games within the first 6 months of the year. I think if Redfall is coming out in May, I would almost think that Starfield is coming out soon. I can't see them stacking these releases super close together. What do you think? Do you think we see Starfield earlier in the year, like maybe even February or March?
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of, I don't know. That'd be weird because we would know about it by now. That's next month. They wouldn't just. That's really weird because then there's no marketing campaign, there's no ads unless they're going to be like it's available now, and then do the marketing to get you to play it. Like, I feel like it needs more. I could see it being March, and then when did Redfall say it was?
It's rumored for early May. I mean, you could see Starfield in June, I guess, but that just seems so bunched up.
June is slammed. June is like got 3 heavy hitters.
I mean, January and February and March are all really filled too. I mean, this year there's no good place to come out. If you're trying to avoid heavy hitters, best of luck to you. I don't think that there's anywhere on the schedule. I mean, obviously we don't know July and onward yet, but
Yeah, but also just from a business standpoint, it's stupid to undercut your own sales.
right. But you could
Oh.
also argue that Game Pass is the selling point. So it's like, oh hey, get Game Pass. These two, 50 plus hour games are there for you. Like,
Yeah, no, you're right. That is one way, but I would not stake these 2 brand new games that can stand on their own legs and then undercut each other just to sell Game Pass. I wouldn't
I agree.
I wouldn't do that. I would just because a lot of people don't want Game Pass. Like I never want Game Pass because I don't have that kind of time. It's not a valuable subscription for me because I play one game to death and then I find something else and then still come back to that game that I played to death. So Game Pass is just after 6 months of me doing this, I've already it's paid for the game. But like Game Pass is if I only buy games I really love, Like, and I'm really gonna be able to get miles out of, except for Legends Arceus. That was my biggest mistake. But so like I don't see like I'm not a Game Pass user. I'm gonna probably buy Starfield as Starfield.
Oh, Redfall. Producer Jeff. I heard producer Jeff coming through. I don't know. Producer Jeff, you got some thoughts?
I'm just watching this gameplay we got going on here. This game looks sick, man.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for Redfall. It's going to be awesome to play. It does give me some Left 4 Dead vibes to an extent.
Left 4 Dead energy.
Yeah, I mean, and Arcane's been an excellent developer before the Xbox acquisition. I mean, these are the guys that made Dishonor. These are the guys that, put out Deathloop last year. Or again, I keep saying last year. A few years ago. Yeah, these guys have a really strong, pedigree of games. They haven't been around for forever, but I mean, they're doing good work.
Like the only way I will get this is if I think I said this last week. If my wife, she's a huge Left 4 Dead fan, if she wants it and will play it with me, that is the only way I will get it.
I would
That's
play
the
it.
exact
Yeah.
vibes I'm getting too. Is Left 4 Dead for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So
that is
yeah,
the only way I
Redfall.
get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Redfall. I mean, regardless.
It can be scary. So
See what I do, and I think I mentioned this previously on the podcast. For games that come to Game Pass, once like I play them at launch, on Game Pass or whenever I get to it, and then after I beat it, I start looking for physical copies because obviously still a physical collector, and I just wait for the price to drop. Like I picked up Halo Infinite like a year after launch, like I got the Steelbook for like $5, like on a
Ooh.
sale. And it's just like it for me. Game Pass helps fill that best of both worlds. Like instead of dropping $70 at launch, I can just kind of wait for a sale. Like I'm still gonna buy the physical copy when I can get my hands on it, but like I don't need.
but I don't know. I think you're unique in that aspect because you collect what
Thanks.
you also play.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know too many people that do that. Like of all my friends, you are the person that I know that does that. No one else I know does that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely unique. What can I say? Uh, um, no, yeah, I mean, yeah, I love collecting games and I love playing them. So I mean, for me, it's just a no-brainer system. My biggest knock against Game Pass is, and it's not really a knock, it's more of a knock against indie gaming. But one of my biggest things that I hate is when I play a game on Game Pass that like I really love and there's no physical release for it. And I'm just like, oh, like pain. Like I just feel pain in my heart. Like I played a game, it was in 2021. I played a game called Night in the Woods and like it was on Game Pass. Absolutely fucking loved it, and there was no physical release and I was super bummed. But then Limited Run Games actually announced a physical release for it like last week, and so I like instantly scooped that up. I mean, I have to wait like a year because Limited Run Games is not very good in terms of its release schedule, but super super hyped for that.
Good.
All right, next up, the next Naughty Dog game is rumored to be structured more like a television show. So, this following comes from Insider Gaming. Whenever the next new Naughty Dog game gets released, fans will see something during development that they haven't seen from the studio before. In an interview with The New Yorker, Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog co-president, says that the next game from the studio will be structured more like a TV show than any other prior game. In the past, Druckmann has been responsible for writing game stories himself. With the next game, Druckmann has already begun assembling a team of writers to help create the story. He didn't give any more details than that, including whether or not the assembled team consists of past TV writers or a group of traditional game writers. The next Naughty Dog game has yet to be announced. Many believe that it will be The Last of Us Part 3.
Why would it be Last of Us Part 3 like a TV show?
Well, it's just kind of speculation going on in the industry. The Last of Us is a huge property right now for PlayStation and Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog wrapped up Uncharted a few years back, so a lot of people are just assuming if they want to finish Last of Us, they're going to do that before they move on to something brand new. And in terms of the TV style, I mean, a few games in the past have tried this. The one that I think did it really well was the original Alan Wake, all those years ago. Other than that, I think the TV episode style can be hit or miss. I mean, the Telltale games have operated off of that, but those games have come, released separately as separate episodes. So it's kind of weird. But that's the creative vision that they're going for, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Okay. It's one of those it's like you do you, Naughty Dog. Like if it's an original property and it's like based on TV, and it's like trippy and stuff, that'd be cool. Like if it was something original, but if it's like, oh, they're just going to episodically release Last of Us 3, that's not exciting for me. Like when you first started this news article, I was like, ooh, new Naughty Dog thing and it's TV-esque. Ooh, this is I was getting excited, and then it was like Last of Us 3, and I'm like, oh.
So, did you play the Last of Us games?
Nope.
Okay.
I have no stakes in that franchise whatsoever. I've
Okay.
seen it. I've watched people play it, but that's not my kind of game. I can't do slow hard. Like there's a little bit of creepiness to it. I can't do
Yeah,
creep,
sure.
man.
So
Can't
I
do
played
it.
the first one. I played the first one. Love the first one. Have not played the second one. Um, a lot of people seem to not like it very much. I mean, it critically
Yeah.
was very well received, but a lot of fans didn't seem very happy with it. So I was a little hesitant to get into it. I mean, maybe at some point I will, especially if The Last of Us 3 is a thing, then that's just something I'll probably hop onto. But other than that, I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
You remember so I was one of those people that immediately lost interest in Last of Us 2 when during E3 Sony decided to go over to the Sony tent and put on an orchestral thing outside, and that was for Last of Us 2, and I
Yeah.
immediately was just like, I don't even want to watch the rest of this conference.
It's so funny to me because to be clear, you don't like when the game like press conferences do like the orchestra stuff and all the extra
Like,
like
it
flair.
makes sense with the game. Why?
Okay.
What is Last of like? Okay, so Final Fantasy literally has an orchestra that travels the world. Okay, if you brought them on stage to show 16, I'd kind of get hype. I'd be like, oh shit. And then like you find out that one of the songs that they do, they got to compose a song that's going to be on one of the levels. That would be exciting. No, just randomly cutting to the outside tents with the orchestra and candlelight and storm, and then they show a dance scene, and I'm just like, what does this have to do with Last of Us 2? Like, I just don't like when it's random. Even I like that less than I like when Ubisoft has all the dancers on stage, or when they're promoting Just Dance again. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Every E3, there's dancers on stage for Just Dance.
Yeah.
I don't. I dislike the Sony thing more than I disliked the Ubisoft dancers.
It's
'Cause
funny
it
because
makes
Dev and I were watching the Game Awards together, and we had this very similar discussion where they had like I think it was Halsey was performing a song for Diablo, and he was like, "Why are we doing this?" And I was like, "Because it's themed with the game, it like the presentation of the performance and the song itself. It's just the theme that they're going for. I mean, also in award shows have these musical
yeah, at an
thing,
award show, it
and he
makes a
hates.
little bit more sense.
Okay, I mean, I
But
get
yeah,
it.
he hated it. Yeah, no, I agree with him. I
All
agree
right.
with him on that one because, yeah, no, like at an award show, it makes more sense. At a E3, that's not an award show. That's your showcase, bro. You're filling to me what that comes off as is you're filling dead time that you don't have for games. And I'd rather you just not waste my time and just have a 20-minute shorter conference.
I hear you. I like the flair a little bit though. Like
I like the
there's a
flair when it
line.
makes sense. I like the
There's a
flair when it's smart
yeah.
flair.
Okay.
If
All right.
it's
That's
just
fine.
flair, no.
I all right. I got you. I agree with that. That's fine. Okay. All right. Moving forward. Forrest, it's time for the one that we talked about. We have an Activision Blizzard update. The Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard has been approved by
Yay!
the country of Chile.
Oh,
Yeah, see how I did that? You like what you see what I did there?
no, I don't like that. I just got bamboozled. What does Chile have to do with this?
Well, it's a country, and all the countries have to approve the sale because they operate in those countries. So,
Oh my
like
god.
Chile
Okay.
approves that the deal goes through, and Microsoft and Activision are both companies that do sales. They do business in Chile. So Chile's like,
What
I'm
happens
cool
if
with it.
like play follow this with me.
Yeah.
So if let's say I'm just gonna pick one, UK decides no, we're not we don't like the idea. We don't like the merger. We're against it. And then every other country is like, we like it. We're gonna do it. Do they just not sell games to UK?
It's a great question, and I wish that somebody who knew this type of stuff could answer that question. I don't know the answer to that. But Chile's regulator, Fiscalia Nacional Económica, the FNE, approved Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard last Thursday. In the press release, the regulator explained that with other big third-party companies such as EA, Epic Games, Ubisoft, and others, there was still plentiful competition in the video game industry. As other responsible regulators review the facts, we expect more approvals like this one, said Lulu Chang Mesere, EVP of Corporate Affairs at Activision Blizzard. So, yeah, Chile has said that the deal makes sense and that the games industry is fine if it goes through. So there you go.
Mm.
The great country
Alright.
of Chile. The great country of Chile.
It went through. Yay, in Chile. Oh.
Got him.
Got me. You
Look,
got me.
man, I'm working, man. I'm working, you know?
Getting worked. I got worked into I got shot into a work, brother.
Right. All right. Next up, 2023 to be a quote unquote year of many announcements, says Konami producer. The new year is right around the corner. Many gamers are eagerly awaiting what's to come in 2023. It's not around the corner, it's here. This is from Insider Gaming, by the way.
You did it again. I got excited, then you said Konami, and I was like,
I know. Well, this was a very surprising.
Yeah, I'm 3 for 3. You've got me excited, and then you said the other thing, and now I'm like,
All right. Well, Noriaki Akamura, a producer for the Metal Gear Solid franchise, which I can't imagine what this guy is doing these days, said in an interview with Famitsu that next year is one that has been long awaited. On top of that, he claimed 2023 will be a year of many announcements. Konami, a few years back, kind of cut ties more or less with the video game industry. I mean, they shifted their focus to pachinko machines, and they do still put out a yearly soccer game, but I mean, and it hasn't been very good based off the critical response to these games. But it's very interesting. This Konami could finally be like, wait a second, we own a lot of valuable IP in the video game industry. Maybe we should make some fucking games. You know?
Yeah, right? Like, the only thing they made last year, I think, was Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel.
Yeah, I think they did put that out. Actually, you are correct. They put that
I
out.
played
Along
it
with
a lot, yeah. No, I
yeah.
actually liked it. It's oh my god, it's an absolute hot mess with bots and everything, and just like, it's very Konami, which, it's very on brand for Konami. And there's also gotcha, so those Plinko machines. It's very on brand. Dude, you have to gotcha packs of cards. Like, it's ugh. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Excuse me. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's been really rough to be a Konami fan, or at least a fan of their IP in recent years. To see them say that there's a lot of announcements coming this year. I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I mean, again, it's a lot of wait and see in this episode because, it's January 2nd, so we don't know what's going on yet.
Just want to throw this out there, producer Jeff here. My dad used to work for Konami. They are heavily into the slot machine industry.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was where he worked, in their Las Vegas, like the division that had Konami for the slot machines. So yeah.
That's really cool. And I did know that they do the machines, the pachinko and the slots and all that. So I did know that. But that's really cool that he worked for Konami.
Yeah, one day they brought me into this special room they have that has all their slot machines in it, that like the new ones that they created, and they let me sit down and play them because I couldn't win anything, and I actually hit like the mega jackpot, and the man, like all the dudes came running in the room. They're like, nobody's hit that yet. That was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a really cool story.
So I just looked up all the things that Konami, this is their Wikipedia. So it says they distribute trading cards, anime, tokusatsu, pachinko, slot machines, arcade cabinets, and then all their video game properties are Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Castlevania, Contra, Frogger, Tokimeki Memorial, Paradiso Gradius, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, Suikoden, and Pro Evolution Soccer, which is the game you mentioned. They also own IPs from Bemani, known for Dance Dance Revolution and Beatmania. And they also have assets from Hudson Soft, Bomberman, Adventure Island, Bonk, Star Soldier.
I forgot that they own Bomberman. That's why we haven't
Yeah.
seen Bomberman in 7 years.
Well, maybe we're getting a new Bomberman game.
I mean, I think everyone really just like when they say announcements, there's only one game that everyone's waiting for. That's a new Frogger game.
Yes, Frogger.
It's
Oh
Frogger.
my
It's
god,
gonna be
could you
fun.
imagine if it was Frogger though?
They're gonna turn Frogger into like a God of War third person action adventure style game where you're just
I would
killing-
play that just
fucking
cause.
killing people as Frogger and trying to cross the road. You land on a car and you just punch the guy in the car. Oh boy.
God of Frogger Ragnarok.
God of Frogger Ragnarok. Oh jeez.
But yeah, no, I could see them putting out a Castlevania, Silent Hill, or Metal Gear this year, or all three, and maybe a Bomberman too. Because
Maybe.
Bomberman's been like requested a lot lately too. Like, give us new Bomberman.
Yeah, I think Metal Gear is the big one. I feel like maybe we get an announcement for a Metal Gear game this year, which it's going to be very weird. I feel like
Wouldn't that be the first mainline entry without Kojima?
that's what I'm thinking. That would be very. I don't know how people would react to that. Now here's the thing though. If Konami was smart, I don't know if they are. We'll find out.
Continue.
As of right now, Konami's not smart. But if they change their direction and get smart, that's possible. If Konami was smart, they would call, or they should call, Hideo Kojima. Like, look, Kojima, we fucked up. We're not asking you to come back. But why don't you come back? Why don't you work with us and make a Metal Gear game? One more. Make the one that you want to make the last one. And I'm pretty sure he knew Phantom Pain was going to be the last one, but you know, maybe they ask him and maybe he says yes. I think he would say no, but maybe he says yes. You never know.
Well, unless what? Xbox buys Konami and puts him in charge, like we said last podcast.
I mean, maybe that's the announcement. The announcement
That's the
is
announcement. We've been bought out by Microsoft. No, I see what I think maybe with because there is a successful Metal Gear. There is a successful Metal Gear that I don't think Kojima had his hands in. Let me see real quick.
I don't know. The only one that I know that was made without him was Survive, and that one wasn't very good. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So it was co-developed. Okay. So the game I'm thinking of is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, right?
Yeah.
And I could see them doing a second one of that because that game got really popular this year, which is gonna sound weird. A lot of streamers were playing it. A lot of people were. It was circulating again. It had its second breath again, so to say. Kojima Productions and Platinum Games. So maybe just Platinum Games will take over. I could see that happening too. And it's been over 10 years. So maybe we're getting the 10-year anniversary version too.
Maybe.
It's the 10-year anniversary of the game. So maybe we're getting like a HD remaster or something of it. That'd be cool. I'd get it.
Yeah, I think realistically, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, it's the 10. Because also, yeah, like it had this resurgence this year. It's a property they don't necessarily need Kojima for because Platinum Star did a lot of it. The writing was off the wall, and the writing is the memes. Like, it's a very memeable game. Just let Platinum Star just be like, pack it with memes, go. I would play it. I'm like saving that game because I know I'll like it. Kind of like what I'm doing with Bayonetta.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, because it's in my Devil May Cry wheelhouse.
Gotcha. It really is. Bayonetta really is. I'm gonna say it every time you're on here. You would love Bayonetta.
They
You'll
both
love
are.
You'll love it. You'll fucking love it.
I hope so. If I
You
don't,
will.
I'm coming to you.
That's
Look,
fine.
explain to me why I don't care about Origins.
That's fine. You could virtually attack me through the internet. That's fine.
Oh no.
All right, moving right along.
I'm live 3D now, baby.
That's true. Ubisoft creative director hints at Star Wars news in 2023. Following is once again from Insider Gaming. Insider Gaming had a lot of headlines this week, mostly because everyone else was on vacation for the holiday. The whole games industry news side kind of shuts down that week between Christmas and New Year's. But Insider Gaming, they kept going, man. Just under a year ago, we learned of Ubisoft's intentions to create an open world Star Wars experience like never before. In January 2021, Ubisoft and Lucasfilm announced a partnership that would bring a story-driven open-world adventure set at the heart of the Star Wars galaxy. However, details have been relatively thin on the ground since then. Despite the seemingly being one hell of an enormous project, it's massively ambitious and it'll utilize every ounce of Massive Entertainment's, that's the Ubisoft studio developing the game, their technological know-how, and the Snowdrop engine that has powered the likes of the Division franchise. Last week, a message was posted to Twitter by a Ubisoft creative director that may have hinted at more information being revealed soon. The tweet said, "Happy New Year to you all. 2023 is going to be huge for us. Join the adventure. Hashtag massive Star Wars." And then it showed a picture of Star Wars, Ubisoft, Massive Games, and Lucasfilm. This kind of coincides with a decision that Disney made after the EA Star Wars partnership ended, that Disney wanted a Star Wars game to be released every 6 months, give or take. And honestly, thank God, because if there's one thing that's annoyed me about Star Wars, and a lot of people point to the newer trilogy of movies, but like when EA bought Star Wars, or they have the rights to Star Wars video games, and it was a 10-year deal, I believe, or something along those lines. It was like a multi-year deal, 5+ years. The only games we got were Battlefront 1 and 2 and Jedi Fallen Order. And like that's just unacceptable. You guys got to be putting out games. You can't just put out nothing. But so I'm very, very excited for more Star Wars video games to come.
Yeah, no, I'm actually like, I'm kind of like down because I just looked up what Massive Entertainment or Massive Games has done so far, and they're noted for Assassin's Creed Revelations, arguably the best one of Ezio, Far Cry 3, arguably the best Far Cry, and then the First Division.
Now wait just a second. You can't. Revelations, while an excellent video game, it's literally the third best Ezio game.
Two's the best one. Ezio's second game is the best one.
I think Brotherhood's the best one, but
yeah, that's Brotherhood. That's Brotherhood.
Two is
yeah, I'll give you that. Brotherhood's the best one.
Yeah,
I like Revelations over the first one though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Ezio game.
That's definitely a good call there. But yeah, so hopefully we get some more news from this, and I'm very, very excited for this.
Yeah, I was down on it, and when you said Ubisoft, and then I'm like, and now I'm looking at Massive Games, and I'm like, ooh, I like 3 of these games, or rather, I like 1 of these games, and I know 2 of them are good. Because I would if you give me like Star Wars GTA or Star Wars Assassin's Creed. Or even Star Wars Division, like all of those are good options. They also did Just Dance. Just don't give me dancing Star Wars. I swear to God. You're just in the
Doge said Star Wars Visions looks cool AF. It really does. All right, so time for our last news story of the day. News story that came out after I posted my script and sent it to Jeff, so that means I'm going to be reading it off my phone. It's not a good news. It's more of a facepalm news. But Square Enix believes recent blockchain volatility, negativeness,
volatility.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I was struggling. Sorry about that. Can benefit its game plans. So last year, to open up 2022, the final, Square Enix, the president posted a letter saying that they were doubling down on blockchain. They literally sold off a lot of their assets this past year to Embracer Group, so that way they could pursue that. And obviously, it was not a very good year for blockchain or anything in that category. So you would think that they were
Dude.
You would think that they're done. Forrest, would you think that they were maybe like, okay, maybe we should move away from the blockchain thing?
How well did NFT Cloud sell? Like the
Well, Forrest, in a new letter discussing its plans for 2023, Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda has now said blockchain remains the biggest focus for its medium-term investments, despite all of the negative reaction in the
Ugh,
blockchain space in 2022.
dude. So, like, do you know anything about crypto?
I know enough to know that it's a scam and I hate it.
So same. Um,
Producer
no.
Jeff does not feel this way about this stuff, but I mean, the facts are there. It's just not. It's not going well. It's
Yeah, no, dude. Like, so have you ever seen CoffeeZilla? I just found him like the other day, like literally, I think Saturday or Sunday.
You want to know how you avoid the scam cryptos? If a YouTuber or someone famous is promoting it, ignore it. That's how you avoid the scams. There you go.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what this guy does. Is it's a whole YouTube channel dedicated to just breaking down the YouTube scammer. I guess we're not gonna call them scammers, but we're gonna say blockchain using individuals that promote these type of things. And I just don't want to hear my video game company is doing this crap. Like,
completely
if they're
agree with you.
doing it individually, have fun, go nuts, drive yourself bankrupt on your own. Don't take your company down with you, especially not one that has such a storied past. I am shocked that the Square Enix executives even allowed it.
Could you
Like,
imagine? Could you imagine in a
who
Square
picked
Enix
that?
boardroom? I'm gonna paint a picture for you. They're in the Square Enix boardroom, and like the president of Square Enix is being held back by all the executives, and he's like reaching for his phone, but the blockchain, and the executives are just trying to keep him at bay. Uh,
Probably.
I mean, yeah. So continuing on with this, um, Matsuda argued that the lessons learned and likely regulation to come could benefit the growth of the blockchain field and its plans to develop games based on the technology. He said, in terms of new business domains, we renamed 3 focused investment fields under our medium-term business plan, the exec wrote. Among those, we are focused most on blockchain entertainment, to which we have devoted aggressive investment and business development efforts. Looking externally, I think it's fair to say that blockchain gained significant recognition as a field in 2022, as evidenced by Web 3.0 becoming a firmly established buzzword among business people. And then he goes on to just talk about how there was a lot of negative reaction to crypto and the NFTs market, and he basically says, "Oh, it'll be great. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Don't
Like,
worry."
the amount of scams I've seen just in these past 48 hours. I binge watched this dude's YouTube channel, and it is just oh my god. I was never like a fan of it to begin with, but then after finding this channel, I'm even more not a fan of it. And I'm just like, ugh, like I hear that and I cringe. I'm just like, ugh. I'm like, you know what? You know what I like? I like cash. I like credit. That's it.
Yeah, cash money is the way to go.
Cash and credit. That's it.
Yeah. But, I mean, teach their own. It is what it is.
If you do it and you like it and you're fine with it, have at it. Live your life. Live your best life, boo boo. Don't let
Yeah.
anyone stop you.
Right. The whole point of life is to be happy. So if you're happy, cool. Good for you. All right. So that is the news headlines for the week. Again, not really a lot of substance, just kind of a lot of looking to the future. We'll see what happens.
Meanwhile, Square Enix really looking to the future, and I'm using air quotes here. Yee.
Anyways, on with the show. There are game releases. There are no new game releases again this week. Again, it's the holidays. There's nothing out. It's January. It's the first week of January. We will have stuff coming up, but this week there is nothing. But there may be nothing coming out this week for us. But now it's time for the topic of the show, which is 2023 preview. Now, before we get into this, just some things to note. Number one, we do not know pretty much anything coming out in the second half of the year. Well, that's not true. We have some games without release dates that might come out in the second half of the year. But it's January 2nd, and there's probably a lot of things, especially on the Nintendo front, that have not been announced yet.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, damn, there's no Nintendo games in here.
There is in the first half, but there's nothing in the second half, or at least
Yeah.
unannounced release dates. But let's get into it. We're gonna run through some stuff. If we have anything we want to talk about, we can. But let's get into it. So starting off this month in January, we're going to be seeing Persona 3 and 4 ports coming to consoles, current gen consoles, and I believe PC as well. These are all coming to Game Pass as well. Very excited to play these. I don't know if I'm going to get to them, to be honest. But, I mean, I want to play Persona 5 Royale first.
I would play if so. Here's
Yeah.
the quality of life jump in 4 to 5 is really staggering. So I recommend that you start where you want to start, but do not go backwards.
Oh man, see that's crazy because I really want to play 5 Royale as much as or as quickly as I can when I get to it. But I'm not gonna want to not play 3 and 4 possibly. But again, there are a lot of
quality
games
of
that I
life
get
is cranked up. So basically, like the little annoyances you'll have with 5, you're probably gonna have huge annoyances with 3 and 4, especially 3.
Okay. Well, we'll
So
see.
I'd start 3 and go forward, honestly. It has nothing, none of them have anything to do with each other. They're all based off of the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Right.
So, like, and I only know this because the wifey played 5. And then I was like, oh, these monsters are cool. And then I found Shin Megami Tensei, which is just basically the Digimon version of it. But also, Digimon is also Shin Megami Tensei. So,
Moving
anyway.
on. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Anyway, I got distracted there. I'm like, wait a minute, but they're the
No,
same.
it's okay. We're here. We're talking about them. It's all right. January 13th, we see the release of One Piece Odyssey. That's something that One Piece fans seem very excited for. Me myself, I don't really care for One Piece. Not again.
I might say that.
Not everything on this list is even something I'm 100% looking forward to, but it is everything on this list that I've compiled is something that seems somewhat high profile that gamers, based off what I look at, seem excited for. Are you going to be picking up One Piece Odyssey?
I gotta. So with anime games, you gotta be careful.
Mhm.
Like, unless they're like a stock fighter, you generally you're all over the place. I'm hoping it's good. This is one of those ones where I'm gonna wait and see. And like, also anime games don't hold their value; they drop off real quick. But Odyssey looks really good.
See,
And I want it to be.
that's where I'm at with it. Where I respect it. I think it looks really good, actually, based off what I've seen. However, I'm not watching 1,300 episodes of One Piece to play this game.
Sure, it's a standalone story.
Is it? But like the characters aren't involved at all. There's no missing out at all.
I mean, you pretty much catch their drips, right? Is a new RPG developed by? Oh,
Yeah, listen, as a
Hold up.
One Piece super fan, I actually have a straw hat right here next to me. Really, they're just a group of it's a group of pirates. They're all friends on the same ship. Like, you really don't need to know much more than whatever story is being told at the moment. You know what I mean? They're just it's the crew. You know.
If anything, it might get you into if you get into it, read the manga. Don't watch the anime.
Oh yeah.
The anime
Oh, yeah.
drags. Read the
Well,
manga.
there's 1,300 episodes of it, isn't there?
Well, yeah, and it's like Dragon Ball Z-ified, where they scream for 10 minutes, kind of type stuff, and there was this ain't an anime podcast. We ain't gonna get into that.
No.
But yeah, so for Odyssey, also I did not know this, and I just found this out. It is a RPG being developed by the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl team.
Really, that's them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I just clicked. I'm on the same article you are, and I clicked on it, and I scrolled down, and I saw it, and I was like, what? Hold up, I might get it because I want to get into One Piece. It looks really good. It's an RPG. I like Luffy. You know, I don't. It kind of. I really don't know. I don't know. I could go either way on it. Hopes are high. I want it to be a good game because there aren't too many good anime games that are like anime to game versus game to anime.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess we'll find out in 11 days. So
Yeah,
that's
no, that's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
That might be a
Yeah.
that might be a I might cop that. It might be
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
PC,
Um,
PlayStation, Xbox One. Okay.
moving on. January 20th. This is the first game of the year that I'm super excited for. Fire Emblem Engage. I am a huge Fire Emblem fan. Love the series. Um, just really excited for this one, and they seem like they're bringing back some legacy characters in the game, which is always cool to see. I tried to not see much of what they've shown of it because it's one of like I know I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I kind of want to go into it with fresh eyes. Um, and my love for Fire Emblem, while it is there, it's not on the level of like say a Zelda. So I can force myself to kind of put off on watching it. But I'm very excited for Fire Emblem Engage.
So there's one on this list. So yeah, I'm not a Fire Emblem guy at all. I even have 3 houses, and I never touched it. That's the one with Byleth and the yellow, the red, and the blue, right?
Yeah, that's 3 houses.
Yeah, I've never even touched it. Like I don't even
Such
think
a
I've
good
ever.
game.
It's never even touched my port.
Such a great game, man. I love the Fire Emblem series. It's been such a strong franchise. And honestly, I'm really glad that it kind of picked up with Awakening back on the 3DS because this was a franchise that Marth and Roy and Smash Brothers kind of carried here in North America. The
Yep.
GBA games are fucking incredible. I remember I'll never forget my first time playing a Fire Emblem game where it was just like, playing Smash Brothers Melee and playing. I'm like, who the hell are Marth and Roy? Like, I really like these guys, but I have no idea what they're from. And it's like Fire Emblem, and I'm like, Fire Emblem? What the hell is Fire Emblem? Never heard of Fire Emblem before.
What's an emblem? How do I light it on fire?
And then I played the original GBA game, and I was just like, holy shit, this game is incredible. Like that game, like I think that game is literally it spawned my love of the genre of the tactics strategy genre. And I've just been a fan of the franchise ever since. And yeah, I mean I love each one, even the ones that don't kind of hit mainstream very well, like all the newer ones, like the 3DS one, Fates. I feel like a lot of people didn't like Fates. I loved Fates, but I'm really excited for Fire Emblem Engage.
Mm.
Few days
Yeah,
later
no.
on, nope, sorry.
God, I was gonna say no. That's good.
Gotcha. A few days later on January 25th, we are getting the PlayStation exclusive Forspoken. This is coming to PS5 exclusively, as I said. I'm very wary about this game because I don't know. I like a lot of people think it's the marketing of the game. I just don't know how I feel about it. I don't think it's not really catching my attention completely. But I mean, it does seem like it might be decent.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I'm probably not gonna get it, even if it's good. Like realist, I'm just like nah. Like
Right.
it ain't my aesthetic. I don't know. I'm just like meh. But so there's one on January 20th I want to talk about.
Okay.
Monster Hunter Rise comes out.
Oh, see, I was gonna skip over it because I knew you were gonna get upset.
Oh yes, I want to get upset.
Oh, go for it then. Yeah, go do it,
Yeah,
man.
no. PlayStation 5, Xbox, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Hey yo, Capcom, what the fuck? What the fuck, man? Why am I stuck on the goddamn Wii or the Switch? Bro, like if the only I've spun this in my head. The only reason I'm excited for this is I will give them until the next update. Actually, I might not even give them that much time. If they don't announce it at like the next thing, I'm going to lose my mind and I'm going to buy it for PC again at the cheapest possible way I can because I am so tired of playing alone. And it is just, I am stuck on Switch Island by myself. Everybody went to PC. And I'm just like, bro, you're bringing in more people? Okay, what is the point of you putting it on all these consoles if we're all stuck on our own ass little islands? Announce crossplay already. If they announce crossplay, amazing. Do it. It's 4 people in a lobby. Put the little controller symbol next to their name that shows what console they're on. We're done. Everyone can play together. Oh my god, you made an amazing product for everybody. Like, I'm tired of them selling the same game for every single console. Also, this wasn't even supposed to leave the Switch. Like, it was supposed to be the Switch exclusive that stays on the Switch, because up until now, Monster Hunter would always make one that goes on both and one that goes on Switch and stays on Switch. And it's trapped on Switch forever.
Well, Forrest, as you know, any Nintendo historian will tell you that that type of shit does not stay on Nintendo consoles. So you look at Resident Evil 4 was supposed to be exclusive
know.
to
Yeah.
GameCube, and it's on literally everything that's come out since the GameCube. What's up? What's up, TJ? TJ's coming in saying, "What's poppin'? What's the topic for today?" We are previewing 2023, the year in gaming. And you're catching us pretty early, so we're still in January. We were talking about One Piece Odyssey, Fire Emblem Engage, Forspoken. Forrest wanted to bring up that Monster Hunter Rise is coming to other consoles, including Game Pass.
About it.
I'm just that guy, man. It's Game Pass. It's coming to Game Pass.
Bro,
Buy Game
I am
Pass.
like, and that's another thing. Like, I have this nightmare scenario, and it kind of actually makes sense, where they're gonna announce crossplay for Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and not for Switch, and I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Oh no. That wouldn't be great, but it would be kind of great to see.
It'd be hilarious. I would literally just like, I don't even know. I think I would just like never trust Capcom again, like until June. But we'll get into that when we hit June. But
Yeah.
like,
You're there.
oh my goodness, I am not okay if that is what happens. Like, I'm gonna be on my island forever.
I could just see us doing a podcast in the Game Room podcast in like 3 weeks, and you're just gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, the next topic of on the news headlines, Monster Hunter Rise crossplay announced, and you're like, yay, and I'm like, it's only Xbox and PlayStation, and you're just like, no. Oh man.
Dude.
Anyways, TJ saying, did Capcom say Monster Hunter Rise would never go to other consoles? Forrest, did they ever say straight
They
up that
didn't
they weren't?
say it, but like they never said it, but it was implied because the Nintendo exclusive one is usually Nintendo exclusive. Like, what is it? Generations 3U is like Wii U exclusive, so it got ported to the Switch because it was at the end of the Wii U's life cycle.
Okay.
So, and that's as far as that ever got, and it's not on anything else. And then World is on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. That makes sense, but they all came out at the same time.
Right.
Or PC maybe later. But still, it was only like 3 months behind, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And
Well-
then the Switch one, and then like as soon as Sunbreak was announced, or right before, they're like, the marketing too pissed me off, because they're like, oh, do it again, do everything you did on the Switch again, but in 4K. And I'm like, you can 4K this right up your like,
Forrest is upset as hell on this.
dude, I am stuck on an island. I just want to hunt with people, man. I'm really good at it.
See, when it comes to gaming, I don't like being stuck on islands. That's why I just buy everything. I have all the consoles. I have a gaming laptop. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to be left out. I get really bad FOMO in gaming.
I'm experiencing FOMO in first. I'll literally go into like people I'm acquaintances with via stream, like other streamers, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, you're playing Monster Hunter? Let's go!" And then it's like, "Wait a minute, what system are you on?" They're like PC, and I'm just like, "No, no one plays on the Switch anymore."
Well, it seems like the feud between TJ and Forrest is going to have to continue over from last week. TJ says the reason why that was exclusive to the Wii U was because the teams had trouble developing for the next-gen consoles. The Wii U was easier, so they chose that. ... It's not an exclusive. Oh, boy.
All right.
Anyways, let's move on. we'll talk more about Monster Hunter Rise when it comes out. Forrest, if you wanted to, you could always get one of the new releases and maybe review it here on the podcast if there's any changes. Probably not changes, but you never
There's
know.
literally gonna be no changes.
Probably not.
It's
But
the,
you can give us a
it's the
thumbs up.
exact same game. It is 1-for-1 the exact same game.
Okay. Well, we'll see
Just
what
with
happens.
just with less amiibo support. That is the only difference. I even
Next up,
have the amiibo, man.
TJ says, as for Rise, it makes sense. Everyone who would have bought it on the Switch has gotten it. It's not a Nintendo IP, so it makes sense, unless Nintendo paid for it. Which maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Who knows? Anyways.
I don't
We'll
like
s-
that. I don't
we'll
like
see.
it.
Well, that's life.
Yeah.
January 26th, not a game, but we will be seeing the release of the PS5 DualSense Edge. This is basically the PS5 equivalent of the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. Very hefty controller. If it's anything like the Xbox version, expected to be a very high quality product. I believe it's priced at like 150, like the Series controller. So, just something to keep an eye out for if you're a hardcore PlayStation gamer. Those controllers are nice. They're usually very high quality. So I would assume it's a good controller for, PlayStation diehards. January 27th, our last release for January, the remake of the original Dead Space game, which producer Jeff has been playing some B-roll for us. I want to play this. I didn't get to play the original Dead Space or the original trilogy for that matter. But my backlog is paid off because I'm gonna play the new one whenever I get around to it.
No, it's one of those games I can't play because it's too spoopy.
Too spoopy.
Yeah, shit grabs your legs. That's like one of my big red flags for horror games. If something like grabs you unexpectedly, especially like from a compromising position, I'm done. I'm just like done. There was like I played it before one time, and there's a stomping mechanic in it. You stomp, and that's how you're supposed to get the ground ones off you. I got to a point where I stopped walking and I only stomped. I'd only move via stomp. So because I was scared of getting jumped.
All right, let's get right into February. Starting to pick up a little bit here. On February 10th, the highly anticipated Hogwarts Legacy releases on current gen platforms. The previous gen platforms were pushed back to later in the year, but we're just going to highlight it here on February 10th for the PS5, Xbox Series, and PC users. Super highly anticipated game for fans of the franchise. A lot of the gameplay that I've seen just looks phenomenal. It looks like a really well-made game. And probably this is going to be one that I end up playing at some point in the year.
I'm not a big Harry Potter guy.
Well, I like Harry Potter. The wife really loves Harry Potter, but I like Harry Potter. It's a good series. There's a lot of good stuff there. Producer Jeff runs some B-roll right now of Hogwarts Legacy, and again, this game just seems like super ambitious. And producer Jeff and we took the wives to Franklin Institute this past last summer and showed off the Hogwarts exhibit. Very awesome stuff there. But yeah, I'm really excited for this game. TJ says it looks dope. He's going to be getting this.
It looks like Elden Ring.
It kind of does, but again, like this, I've seen like a lot of gameplay of like going into like the house dorms and just others like other little things, and I'm very intrigued to play this game. But yeah, this is a game I probably would pick up at some point.
So okay. So here's the thing: a game can flip me if it has customization.
I believe there may be. Producer Jeff, can we get a Google search here? Like how much is there customization?
Poggy Woggy. I thought he said Poggy Warts.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question was for Hogwarts Legacy. Can we get a Google search going to see if how much customization, if there's any customization in the game, like for your character?
There is a full customization for your character starting at the beginning of the game. You fully customize your character.
There you go. Thank you, Producer Jeff. There you go, Forrest.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for this. I'm all over this one.
Bro, I'm about to turn this into magic musical.
But yeah, even watching this B-roll, I have not seen this this specific bit of gameplay. This world looks crazy good. Very excited.
If I can,
As a World of Warcraft player, I can say I am absolutely pleased with the way that this world looks, and flying on this what is this, a griffin?
yeah, it looks
My
like
god, this is
You can hit the
amazing.
griffin, you call
I
it hit the
cannot wait.
griffin. Anyways, yeah. Yes. All right. Moving on February 17th, Wildheart will be releasing. This game seems to be creating a lot of buzz. It seems like a Monster Hunter cross, like Sekiro kind of game. Not really for me, but again, it
Yeah, Wild Hearts is actually on my radar.
Okay.
This is another one I need. It's Koei Tecmo, so I'm kind of like, not that there's anything wrong with Koei Tecmo, more so that I'm just, ugh. I don't know if they're gonna do it. If it's like Neo 2, I'm out. If it's like Neo, I'm also out. But if it sits more in the camp of Elden Ring's kind of forgiveness and not overly complicated like Neo, I'd be down. I just don't want another Dark Souls. I don't want Dark Souls Monster Hunter. That sounds like, actually, you know what? That sounds like a good time. Okay, maybe, you know what? I just rescind everything. Maybe I might get Wild Hearts.
All right. Well, there you go. You have it here. You heard it here, folks. First, folks. Um, the few days later, on February 21st, Atomic Hearts will be releasing. I'm really interested in this game. This looks kind of like, the best way I would describe it to someone who doesn't know what it is, it looks like BioShock in Russia. Very excited for this game. The trailers are pretty interesting, pretty out there, I think. I'm really into it. It looks good. The next day, on February 22nd, we will see the release of PSVR 2, PlayStation 5's VR system. And along with it, we are going to see a bunch of games, but the ones that I noted here, Resident Evil Village will be getting a VR version, and then the big release is Horizon Call of the Mountain, a completely VR experience in the Horizon franchise. First, I don't want to shell out $500 for a PSVR 2 headset, but I really, really want to get a PSVR 2.
Yeah, I'm not a VR guy. I've never actually got to do it ever.
I tried it once. I was at PAX one year. It was the year I went as media, and this was a few years back. So this is like kind of way outdated. But I got to try out a VR experience. It was a demo that a game developer was doing. It was like walking through a museum. And I just haven't gotten really to try it again since, but I really just want to get back into, I want to try it. I think VR, it is a gimmick, but I think it's a fun gimmick.
Yeah.
So
you got to test OG VR tech.
Yeah, it was from like 2012, 2013.
Yeah, it'd be it's one of those 2 years. It's either 2012 or 2013 because I actually remember this. I remember you going to the PAX.
Yeah. Just I'm interested, but man, that $500 price tag, and then you have to buy the games.
Yeah, I was like, that's you're essentially paying for another console.
Yeah, you're paying for a console to plug into your console. Like, yo, dog, exhibit in here. Yo, dog, we heard you like consoles, so we put a console on your console so you can console.
With your console.
TJ says Sony should have enabled crossplay with PC. For VR to grow, Sony needs to allow this. I think they will in the future. Possibly. I feel like Sony tries to keep to themselves. They want to be in their own little bubble if they could help it. So, I mean, I would actually argue that I think they would not do that. Even if it ends up spiting themselves. I could see them just straight up saying, no, we're not going to do it. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I am excited for PSVR 2, and it's something that's going to be on my radar until I end up fucking shoveling $500 into a fucking pit for this thing.
Wait for it to get a game you want to play.
Well, I do want to play Horizon. That's the thing. I fell in love with the Horizon franchise this past year, and I do want to get into it. I definitely wouldn't argue with getting Resident Evil Village and playing that on PSVR. That sounds insane.
Like
you
a nightmare.
That sounds like a nightmare.
You're like, this sounds amazing. I'm like, oh god, no.
Oh god, no. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm very intrigued. PSVR 2 is something I definitely have my eyes on, but it's $500. It's too expensive. A few days later,
Get a developer's copy. Get a review copy.
yeah, that's the trick,
Send them
right?
send them this podcast link and get a review copy.
Right, exactly. They're gonna turn it on and hear you screaming about Monster Hunter Rise. They'll be like, oh, maybe not.
No,
um,
cut that out. Just put this part in.
right, cut it.
Cut it.
February 24th, few games. One that I'm really excited for. The first one is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That's coming to Switch, obviously, and then coming to Switch and PS5, Octopath Traveler 2. So I played Octopath Traveler, the first one, last year. It is a game that consumed me for about 3.5 weeks. I fucking love Octopath Traveler, and I was so hype at the last Nintendo Direct when they announced this game. This is a hype one for me. I'm very, very excited to play Octopath Traveler 2. Just a gorgeous art style, great game, awesome storytelling that always like intertwines with each other. The characters, sign me up. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I never played the first one.
It's really
kinda-
good.
Yeah, I'm not a pixel RPG man.
I know, I am.
I know you are. I missed that whole boat, because I was stuck
Yeah.
on Sega as a kid.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
And Sega didn't have too much of that.
Producer Jeff watching his
Producer
own
Jeff's
deal.
still on the Hogwarts.
You can customize your voice. This is crazy. I can't wait.
Producer Jeff, I think. Well, number one, I think you should buy a PS5 when this game comes out. I think Producer Jeff or an Xbox Series X. Producer Jeff, I think maybe you can review this game for us.
I think I might because I
Okay.
am.
But the catch to it, Producer Jeff, is that you have to be playing on a current gen console. Your PS4 is not going to cut it.
Like, look, that dude just made himself.
So start saving your money. Start saving your money,
What do
Jeff.
I want to do? I
Anyways,
gotta see it.
February 28th, Destiny 2, the Lightfall expansion comes out for the Destiny players. Good for them.
Oh, actually, one of my games is on here that you skipped.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think it's a remake.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What do you wanna
Digimon
talk about?
World Next Order.
What was it called?
Digimon World Next Order.
Oh, yeah,
February
that is
22nd.
coming out.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know if you remember it. Like, do you remember Digimon on the PlayStation where you would have the Digimon with you and then like it would follow you around and then if it pooped too much, it would turn into poop?
So I never played a Digimon video game.
Really?
I've never played a Digimon video game. I've watched the show and I've enjoyed the show growing up, but I never played a single Digimon video game. At least not that I
How far into
remember.
the show did you get?
What?
How far into the show did you get? Like, what season did you stop watching?
Oh, season 4 I think is the furthest I saw.
Okay, so 4 would be the
When it's
you turned into Digimon.
what is it called? Oh man, we're trying to when he makes his own, when he wants his own Digimon, Tai. He's like, I
I'm
just
sorry,
have my own Digimon. He draws it up on the card and he finds the Digi device and he creates his own Digimon. That's the one that's my favorite season, and it's
Yeah.
also the last one I saw.
Okay, no, that's the best season. That's
It is the
Tamers.
best season. Yeah, it's very good.
Tamers is the best one. But yeah, so this is essentially like Tamers, like but as a game.
Okay.
And I do think you go to the digital world and you have to like basically like as you solve issues, like you make your town better and stuff. It's like kind of, I got that's one of my ones that's it's not my most anticipated, but like I'm keeping an eye on it, very strong eye on it.
So for those that, because I believe I did not mention it, at the end of this list, we Forrest and I believe Jeff is also going to be partaking in this. We are going to be revealing our top 5 most anticipated games coming out this year that we know about. Just wanted to make sure. I feel like I didn't say that at the beginning, but that was what Forrest was referring to when he says his list. And also, like I said, the list that I compiled is not a complete list. There are other games. I just, didn't want to be here for 5 hours. Anyways, I don't think producer Jeff wants to be here for 5 hours either.
We got 45 minutes. Let's go.
moving on to March, we have The Last of Us Part 1. It's getting a PC port on March 3rd. Just going to keep on rolling along. Wolong Fallen Dynasty comes out in March as well. This is coming from the team at Team Ninja. Seems like kind of like a Souls-like game. Again, a lot of buzz around it, so figured I would include it on the list.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, oh, that one. Yeah.
Moving along, on March 9th, Skull and Bones is finally coming out after, Jesus Christ, so many delays and trailers and development hell articles. This is the game that's basically the sailing part of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, finally coming out.
Sheesh.
I'm not super interested in this game. I feel like this game is a dead on arrival kind of game, but again, it has garnered some discussion, so it is on this list. This just reeks of a game that's not going to be a good game, but I could be wrong. I'm usually not though, so we'll see.
It's on Stadia. That's weird.
Yeah, Stadia ends in like 2 weeks, so it's definitely not going to Stadia.
Yeah.
So that's not accurate. Let's see. And then the end of March is where the bangers start coming for March. March 17th, 2 big games that I'm really excited for. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, and Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. These both come out on March 17th. Very, very likely I'm going to be picking both up at that point. I'm very excited for both. I love Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It was just such an excellent game to come out of EA, and it looked great. It's a great Star Wars game. Some of the challenges are pretty rough, but I mean it's just that kind of game. And then Bayonetta Origins I know nothing about because I haven't played Bayonetta 3 yet, but I really want to play Bayonetta 3. I have it, I just haven't played it. So I don't really have anything to say about that, but it's really awesome that they're making a Bayonetta origin story that's not gonna play like other Bayonettas. So I'm down. Let's do it. And then the following week, March 24th, Resident Evil 4 remake releases. And again, this is just another game that I'm pretty excited about. Probably talk about it in a little bit. But yeah,
A lot of people are going to be on that game. That's going to be like the game of the month, honestly.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think that it's a really
stacked month.
I know. It's a really stacked year in general. And like you say, Resident Evil 4 remake might be the hottest game, but man, Jedi Survivor is right there, and it's
so that's so here's where I think. So I know Jedi Survivor's right there, but I think Resident Evil 4 is gonna do better because it's a remake of probably the most popular Resident Evil game.
It's a fair assumption.
And,
but
yeah, and also like it's also just like that's all you're gonna hear about for the rest of the month. Like you're gonna hear about Survive, and then like whatever issues are wrong with it, and then you're gonna hear remake 4 is amazing.
So I would also argue, devil's advocate, because I don't really feel one way strongly or the other. I would argue that the IP alone of Star Wars and the fact that this is a sequel to a very successful game in Jedi Fallen Order, I think that those two things could attribute this to being the big release that month. And you know what? It might end up being a segment here on the show this year where we're talking about and discussing what is the biggest game this month. And TJ in the chat saying that the map in Jedi Fallen Order is terrible, completely horrible. It was a bad map. The map is definitely the weak spot of the game, but man, gameplay wise and graphically and in the lore of the franchise, just such an excellent game. But I mean, I guess we'll see. Okay. Into April. Right now, there's not a lot going in April. On April 14th, we're going to get the Mega Man Battle Network Collection on Switch and PlayStation 4. I'm really excited for this because I've played these games, but I've never beaten any of them because I never owned them. We did, but I never beat them. Like, I was always playing somebody's copy when hanging out with somebody. I never like sat down and like played these games. So I'm gonna be picking up this collection.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm thinking about getting this as well, just for the nostalgia trip of
Yeah.
just sitting in that dank ass lunchroom, fucking dodging like the thing with the hat, just trying to
Yeah.
shoot me, and then I'm like, they're like, hey, can I have your second soda? And I'm like, what? And then I die. Yeah, I can't wait for that nostalgia.
Real quick, TJ said Resident Evil 4 sold 10 million plus, I believe. Fallen Order also sold 10 million plus. Don't know how remakes do comparison to their initial titles. Yeah, we'll see.
It's an HD remake, so it's probably gonna do really well.
Probably, but I mean, again, we'll talk a little bit later about it. Also that month, April 19th, Horizon Forbidden West: The Burning Shores expansion comes out. And then April 28th, Dead Island 2 finally releases. This is another game that was in development hell for a long time. Switch developers once or even twice, I believe. But no, Dead Island 2 finally coming out on April 28th. Okay. And then we get to the month of May, Forrest. The beautiful, beautiful month of May. On May 12th, we get the release, finally, of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. We'll talk about this later. And then following it, May 26th, a few weeks later, we get Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Really excited for this game. This is the, Rocksteady finally putting out another game since Arkham Knight. These guys are just, Rocksteady is such an excellent developer, and what I've seen of this game just looks awesome, and I just hope that I'm done Zelda by the time it comes out. So,
Right?
we'll see. I probably will be. I mean, the 12th to the 26th, that's a good 2 weeks. I think I could knock that out. Maybe.
Mm.
Any thoughts on Suicide Squad, or should I keep going?
This is a game that I need to see. I need to see. It's definitely like I'm curious. Like, so you're not gonna like this, but I am not getting The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I did not. I've yet to play Breath of the Wild even.
What well, you know what?
Did you not know that?
I did not know you didn't play Breath of the Wild. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Like, as a Zelda fan, and Dev and I, we argue about this all the time. It's fucking crazy. As a Zelda fan, as a person that, to his core, loves The Legend of Zelda, it's my favorite game franchise of all time.
Really wearing a shirt right now.
You actually got me this shirt for Christmas a few years back. I don't know if you remember that. It's like, I think it's like 5 or 6 years ago. You got this for me.
Good
Don't
shirt.
remember. Yeah, it's a good shirt. But like I love The Legend of Zelda, and like if you ask me to name my top 10 games of all time, like 4 of them are Zelda games, 5 of them are Zelda games. That's just me. Breath of the Wild is a excellent 10 out of 10 video game. However, it's not. For me, it's not a top echelon of Zelda games. I think that there's something that Zelda games do that just makes them special, and it's not just about the exploration. It's not just about the gameplay. It's just I can't explain it. Dev and I have argued about it a lot of times. I almost say like the word I look for is soul. Like when I play a Zelda game like Ocarina or Twilight Princess or Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, most of the games Zelda franchise, they just have a certain vibe to them that Breath of the Wild does not give me. I still love Breath of the Wild. I still think it's a 10 out of 10 game. And I'm really, really optimistic with Tears of the Kingdom. A lot of what I see looks a lot more interesting and better than Breath of the Wild. So if they can take a 10 out of 10 video game and make me feel like I'm playing a Zelda game again in terms of just the vibe, I'm down for it. Maybe someday I can go a little bit more into detail about my issues with Breath of the Wild and, kind of lay it out, but we're not here to do that today. But regardless, you should play Breath of the Wild. It is a excellent video game.
No, I don't think I will.
Well, that's your loss. You're literally just making your life worse. So I mean, I can't help everybody.
I don't got time like that. I'll be too busy figuring out if I want to buy Atomic Hearts.
Anyways,
Wild hearts. There's too many hearts.
too many hearts. Um,
Just like in Zelda. Anyway,
June. On June 2nd, we get Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
Two thoughts for this. Number one, please change your box art. It looks like shit. Number
I
two,
need to see this. Hold on.
you haven't seen the box art?
No, I keep hearing about it.
I don't like the box art. I think the box art is just dumb. Anyways, while you're looking that up, box art, change the box art. Number two, this was shown off at the Game Awards, as was Tekken.
Bro, why is that just me on the cover? Why am I on the cover?
Anyways, Tekken looks better. I think the new Tekken looks better than Street Fighter in terms of the
agree with
gameplay. I just think it looks better. But you know, people are going to be excited for it, and good for them. I hope the game's great. I hope people love it. But 2 days later, there is a game that I'm more excited for that comes out on June 4th, Diablo 4. Very excited for Diablo 4. This is a game that I think Dev and I are probably going to end up playing. He's really into Diablo.
Me as well.
And you as well. It's coming to Game Pass, so I'm going to play it on Game Pass.
What? It's cross-platform.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll end up playing it. Producer Jeff pulls up the Street Fighter 6 cover art. Yeah, I mean I just don't like it. Like it just
That's me. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
like no, like you look great, but like why would you be on the cover of Street Fighter? You're not even in Street Fighter. Well, apparently now you are.
I'm gonna put myself in Street Fighter. That's why I want it.
Anyways, so yeah, Diablo 4 looks great. Really excited for that. And then lastly, on June 22nd, Final Fantasy 16 comes to PlayStation consoles exclusively because they paid for the exclusivity of it.
Finally,
You know?
my reason to have a PlayStation 5 is validated.
TJ saying Diablo 4 on Game Pass. No, it's not. It's coming to Game Pass. I'm pretty sure it is. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, producer Jeff, please look into this. Because they showed it off at the Xbox Showcase last year, like the E3 one. I could have sworn they said it was coming to Game Pass. Again, not 100%, but I feel pretty confident in that. We'll see. While producer Jeff, oh, go ahead.
While I looked this up here, it says there are currently no plans for Diablo 4 to appear on the Game Pass. I think you might have been confused when they revealed the price of their Battle Pass.
Why did they say that something was coming to Game
There's
Pass?
going to be a Battle Pass like in Fortnite and every other game now, I guess.
Wait, for 14? I mean 16?
No. For
Diablo 4.
Diablo 4.
Oh.
Huh,
okay.
interesting.
Ew.
I'm having some Mandela effect because I'm for some reason remembering. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's because they were talking about their Battle Pass, and I just care so little about Battle Pass I misheard it. That's possible. Oh well. Regardless, I'm probably gonna be picking up Diablo 4. Looks great. And, oh yeah, you know maybe that's what I heard, TJ. Maybe by then, I mean they expect the deal to go through June. So I mean if the deal goes through in June, for all intents and purposes, this could be coming to Game Pass by then.
Yo,
But,
did
you know.
you see? Hold up. Did you see the alternative Street Fighter box art for PS4?
No.
Holy crap!
Is it good?
Yes, it's insane.
Oh, can you send it to producer Jeff so he can put it on screen for us?
Yeah, I'll send this copy. Oh shit! Wait, how am I gonna send? I'll send it through Discord.
Meanwhile, while that's going down, yeah, so Final Fantasy 16 comes out on June 22nd. I'm really excited for it. I think it looks great. I did not catch what was it? The last trailer. I didn't get to watch it fully. I want to sit down and watch it again. But I'm really excited for this. Final Fantasy is great. You know, no complaints there. So that is it for the games that have release dates. We have, however, still quite a few games that don't have release dates to go, to run through. I'm gonna try to knock some of them out, and we'll see if we end up talking about any of them. Now, gentlemen, if any of these games end up on your top 5 most anticipated lists, just save the discourse for then, for the sake of time. So first up, coming in 2023 with no release date, AEW Fight Forever. This game has been developed for a little while, a few years, and we are expecting it hopefully in the first few months of this year. Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. This game was supposed to come out last March, but got put on hold due to the war in Europe, in Russia and Ukraine. I think Nintendo is being extremely weird about this. This is not on my list, but I just want to say that, like, just fucking release the game. Like, Jesus Christ, Nintendo. Like, I understand. Look, I understand that you didn't want it to come out when it came out because it came out like literally or supposed to like right after the invasion happened. So I totally understand it being a little like insensitive to wait like a month or two. Bro, we are going on a fucking year. Like, there is nobody that's going to look at Advance Wars Reboot Camp and anyone who matters with an opinion that matters and is going to be like, I can't believe they put out this game while Russia is invading Ukraine. So tone deaf. Like, no, nobody's going to do that. It's ridiculous in my opinion. Just put out the fucking game. Anyways, Alan Wake 2 is coming out this year. Very excited for that. This will not be a game for Forrest because they've said that the second one, Alan Wake 2, is going to be a little bit more survival horror.
Nope, I'm out.
Announced at the Game Awards, Armored Core 6, which I'm pretty excited for. That reveal trailer at the Game Awards
Yes.
looked fucking dope.
Yeah, I'm down for an Armored Core game. I've never got to play one, but I'm so down.
I've played some loosely at a friend's house when I was a kid on the PlayStation 2, but I've never again sat down and like played one. So this is one that I would probably be, picking up. It looks very interesting. Next up, Arc 2 is coming out, I believe, exclusively to Xbox consoles, and don't quote me on that one. Vin Diesel's in that game; he's starring in it. I played the first one. The first Arc was pretty good, so good to see a sequel for that. Pretty sure this one's coming to Game Pass. Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out this year. Very excited for this game. It's returning to the roots of the franchise. It's going to be a traditional Assassin's Creed, like not an RPG, more of an action adventure kind of game, and I'm very, very excited to be playing this game. Let's see in the chat. TJ does not like the way AEW Fight Forever looks. Producer Jeff pointing out it is super early footage that was being used there. Yeah, that's fine. Also for Assassin's Creed, we have Assassin's Creed Codename Jade, I believe, is supposed to be releasing in 2023. This is, ironically, a mobile game that is also kind of an action-adventure styled Assassin's Creed game. This game looks great. I hope that they have plans for it to come to consoles because I'm not playing it on my phone. Forrest, you excited to jump into any Assassin's Creed, or should I just keep rolling?
I don't know. Assassin's Creed lost its luster for me. I would love to be told that Mirage is amazing, returns to the roots, and it's good. And then maybe I'd be down because like they lost me after like 4.
Yeah.
They really did. Like I tried. Yes.
I think that the idea in the Assassin's Creed franchise you're going to start seeing is kind of like in the sense of like how people look at 2D Zelda and 3D Zelda, or how we talk about how Pokemon has different like games they can release now in the same franchise. I think we're going to start seeing that for Assassin's Creed, where it's going to be you have the big RPG Assassin's Creed, and then you have the action adventure action adventure Assassin's Creed. I think I think it'll work out for them, and I'm pretty excited for the future of Assassin's Creed at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the Ubisoft front, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, or Frontiers on Pandora. That's a pretty big release that's coming out. People really liked the new Avatar movie. I have not seen it. I probably will not be seeing it anytime soon.
Definitely not be seeing it.
What?
I said I will definitely not be seeing it.
I just don't have any interest in seeing it. Like I think they
Same.
took way too long. Like, here's the thing, right? Avatar, the first one, gorgeous movie, super well made movie. Plot, kind of forgettable. You know what I mean? Like the fact that they were like, we're going to take 20 years to make 4 more movies.
Well, it's
We'll be back.
literally
We'll see you
It's
guys.
literally one of the great literary plot devices. What is it? Man versus nature.
Sure, I get that.
But nature wins.
Yeah, sure. And just for me, it's like again, great movie. Just nothing about it is like, man, I really want to see another one.
Yeah.
And they have 4 more coming. So like, okay.
Sure. Like it's like that weird side eye, like sure.
Also coming in 2023, Baldur's Gate 3, pretty well-known franchise there, getting a new game. Banishers Ghost of Eden. This was the game that was announced at the Game Awards from the team that made Life is Strange. This game looks awesome. I'm very interested in Ghost of Eden. Company of Heroes 3 will be making its release this year for the PC gamers. Cyberpunk 2077, the Phantom Liberty expansion's coming out. Cyberpunk seems to be on the upswing. It seems to bounce back a little bit since its dog shit launch a few years back. I'm now that the game is doing better, I am looking forward to kind of getting into it. And yeah, new expansion seems good. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will be coming out this year. We don't have a release date, but I would assume November. But
Yeah, it's late year. That's gonna
Yeah,
probably come out right before Christmas.
yeah, that's a big holiday release right there.
Yeah.
Flintlock Siege of Dawn, that's coming out. That looks really good. The new Forza Motorsport is expected this year. Hellblade 2 is expected this year as well. Again, no solid release date for any of these games. I'm really excited for Hellblade 2. I love the first one and am excited to see what they come up with this time around, especially now that they have funding from Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Hollow Knight Silksong is coming out this year.
That'll be big.
Yeah, a lot of people are really into Hollow Knight. Lies of P got some attention, got some buzz this past year. It's basically Pinocchio in a Dark Souls game. Which, I'm sure some people will really be into it. We also get Like a Dragon, a Yakuza game. There's actually 2 games coming out this year, but I forgot the first one on my list. But yeah, the one I have right here is Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Yeah, and I think Like a Dragon's the more RPG one.
No, well, so from my understanding is they actually changed the name of the franchise. All Yakuza games are going to be called Like a Dragon moving forward.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, so the one that came out that was an RPG was Yakuza Like a Dragon. But I guess at some point, I remember reading this a few months ago where they were like, yeah, we like the name Like a Dragon better, so we're just going to start calling all the games Like a Dragon.
Okay. It's very confusing for me because I wanted to play the RPG one, but sure.
Also coming out in 2020, Man 2 got a fall release window. Very excited for that game. Love the first one. Love Miles Morales as well. We also have Minecraft Legends coming out next year, or this year, Jesus. Yeah, again, that's the 4th time. I swear by next week I'll be good. Nightingale. This game I put on here, it seems like it was getting a lot of hype. Very weird looking game. It was shown off at the Game Awards. It's coming to PC. It's kind of like a mix of genres for me. It looked like a survival, builder, exploration game. It looks interesting. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's like a deck builder. Wait, Nightingale drives in the realm of cards and new trailer. Play your hand carefully. The Victorian survival crafting game.
Yes, there you go. That's a pretty good way to put it.
From the ex-BioWare devs.
Yes. All right. Pikmin 4 got announced, and that's coming out this year. I'm excited for that. It's actually been 10 years since the last Pikmin game came out. So, yeah, I know. They really sat on this one, I guess. Other games coming out, Pragmata looks good. That's coming from Capcom, I believe. Ravenlock, which is the sequel to a game that came out called Echo Generation. A very fucking gorgeous game, kind of like a more retro looking style. Seems like it's very Stranger Things-esque. I haven't watched Stranger Things, but I've heard that there's a lot of Stranger Things similar theming going on there. Replaced which showed off at the Game Awards. Producer Jeff thought this game looked sick. I don't know if he remembers Replaced. Gorgeous looking game. Looking forward to that one as well. Redfall is coming out this year. As we said earlier, it's rumored that it's coming out in early May. Silent Hill Ascension. This was a game that was announced. I believe they also announced a Silent Hill 2 remake as well. So I think there's actually 2 Silent Hills, but I don't know if 2 remake is coming out this year or not. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. This was a game that was supposed to come out this previous year in 2022. It was delayed due to the fact that this developer is 100% Ukrainian, based in Ukraine, and has been dealing with the conflict over there, but they are apparently still working their way through the game. I'm very excited for Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Starfield is coming out within the first half of 2023, and the last game that I have on the list is The Wolf Among Us 2, hotly anticipated game for Telltale fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff there. I kind of felt the need to start kind of running through them because there's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get ready to close out the show with our top 5 most anticipated games coming out this year. So these don't have to be things that I mentioned, but mine are. Everything that I mentioned on my list I've already mentioned. But let's get into it. Forrest, you had some honorable mentions, or at least an honorable mention you wanted to...
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple honorable mention. AEW. I just want this game. I want to play this game. I want to see more about this game. Like, I want to see somebody actually play this game and tell me if it's good or not. Like, a lot of my games come down to like if it's a game I want, it's on my radar and then I need a review, etc. and so on. It's very hard for me to pick a game. Like, if a Pokemon was on here other than Legends, I would be down. Like, that would be probably at the top, but we don't know. We don't know because we might be getting a winter direct to announce all this stuff. Yeah,
we'll probably be getting a direct in February, I would imagine. And yeah, also this is just us talking about what's announced. If I had to bet money, I would bet money that there's a Pokemon game coming out this year, or at least an expansion for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I'd be down for that too because I really enjoyed Scarlet and Violet. I would whereas Sword and Shield, I was just like, ugh, and I didn't want to do the expansion. This time, I'm like, okay, I'm down.
Yeah. Producer Jeff, did you make a top 5 list?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any honorable mentions you want to get into?
I guess I only have one honorable mention, and it would be the Final Fantasy 16, since I try to play all the Final Fantasy games.
Cool. So I gave 2 honorable mentions. This is a really stacked year, and you guys both said games for your honorable mentions that I really thought about putting on this list, but there were just other games that for me beat it out. But my 2 honorable mentions are Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Octopath Traveler 2. These games we talked about them earlier. These are games that I'm just really, really excited to play. All right, Forrest, take it away. What's your number 5 for your most anticipated game?
Number 5, Burger King foot. What? No. Probably 16. Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Like, even if I don't play it, I'm gonna watch somebody play it. Like, the story is going to be absorbed into my brain one way or the other, whether I'm playing it or I'm watching someone play it. So I don't really, I want it to be good. It's done by the same person. It's Yoshi P doing the writing, I think, and he did 14. 14's phenomenal. So I'm hopefully optimistic that this is good. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
All right, Producer Jeff, what's your number 5?
All right, my number 5 is, let's see here, what do I have as number 5? So I actually don't think I wrote them in order here. Let me take a quick look.
Okay, that's fine if you don't have them in order. Whatever works.
My number 5 is going to be the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII was one of my favorite games of all time, so pretty interested to see where they're going with that. It looks like a post-7 story, like a continuation of the story.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you play 7 Remake?
The remake? No.
Okay, so 7 remake. I mean, I don't want to really give anything away, but 7 remake doesn't end where 7 ends. It
Okay.
7 remake kind of cuts off after a certain point.
Oh, okay.
So you know how like it's kind of funny how 7 had discs.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that
Yeah, it's
actually.
like
Okay.
that again.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love the 4 disc
Just
sets, man.
years
I miss
apart.
that.
yeah. Okay. Well, my number 5 is Fire Emblem Engage. Again, I really love Fire Emblem. Really love this franchise, and I'm very excited to play it.
Yeah,
Forest. Oh, sorry. Good.
good. This is my number 4.
Yeah, you're number 4.
Digimon Survive, or Next New World or whatever. Next New Order. I'm just like looking at it from a streamer aspect, and the amount of like good content I'm gonna make with that game, it's gonna be ridiculous. So I'm very excited for that, just for the sheer streaming aspect of it. If the game's trash, the game's trash. I more just want it just to play it on stream.
Okay. Producer Jeff, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is going to be the One Piece Odyssey game. Being a massive One Piece fan, I gotta put that in my top 5.
Excellent, excellent. All right, my number 4 is Resident Evil 4 remake. I love the original Resident Evil 4, and there are in another year, like this is probably like a number 2 for me, or a number 1 even maybe, depending on the year. Um, Capcom has absolutely crushed it with the new Resident Evil remakes that they've made. The 2 remake and 3 remake were incredible games. Absolutely love them. Not afraid to say I enjoyed them more than I enjoyed the originals of both versions. Um, especially 3. And man, as much as I love Resident Evil 4, just to get this new remake, which isn't gonna, it's probably not gonna be like to the letter a remake, but it's like, I'm very, very excited for Resident Evil 4 remake. Forrest, your number 3.
All right, number 3 is gonna have to be. You kind of screwed up my list because you made me realize like what Wild Hearts might be, and now I'm just like,
Well, so I'll tell you what,
I'm,
Forrest, if you want to put Wild Hearts at your number 3, do that, but then also tell us your original number 3.
let me. I gotta get my phone. It died, so give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come back to me.
Okay, Jeff, what's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3 is going to be The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Can't wait for another Legend of Zelda game. Listen, I don't know if you've heard this like spoken in words. It's been 5 years since Breath of the Wild. That's crazy to think about. I feel like it just came out.
Oh, I have. I've heard that many a times. Yeah, I mean Zelda. That's just about how long Zelda games take. They take about 5 years, man. It's wild. It's definitely a wild thing. Um, we'll talk about Zelda.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with number 3 is Starfield.
Okay.
That's the I couldn't remember it. Like I said, it's more of just it's gonna hold me over. It's another one of those games that would be fun to stream. Everybody's thing's gonna be different, so I'm down for that. Running around, it's a good stream game, like I said. Uh, I can like, and as soon as Outer Worlds 2 come out, that thing's getting binned, and I'm never touching it again. But like, I think at least be initially fun.
Okay. Well, so my number 3 and number 2 are like very close. Like it's a really close tie between these two. But my number 3 is Starfield as well. I'm really dying to play this game. Love Fallout. Love Bethesda's big main RPG games that they make. Yeah, they're a little buggy, but they're usually always really good regardless. And yeah, I'm just really excited for Starfield. The wait's been pretty killer, and can't wait to play it. Forrest, we're gonna jump right back to you. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is gonna be Diablo 4. I'm excited for it. Though honestly, I want to like put it lower now because of the fucking battle pass shit. That no bueno. But like I like 3. I think 3 lived really well. 3 was so much fun when I would play with like my wife and Deborah, and we'd all be playing on the Switch or whatever. I think it'll be a lot of fun to do that again. To get everybody together and play as a group. So it's more just that group playing mentality. So, yeah.
TJ in the chat says Starfield's gonna be fire, and he also asks where's Baldur's Gate 3. But I did mention Baldur's Gate 3 during the original preview. That was part of when I started to kind of run through them because there was a lot of them, TJ. But yes,
I think he's wondering about why is it not in the top 5 of your list.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if he's asking that, I mean, it's just not. Sorry.
Trash.
Yeah, same here.
Who cares
So for
about
me-
Baldur's Gate? No.
So have we got to number 2 yet?
Yep. What's your number 2, Jeff?
My number 2 is actually Starfield. I am like super hyped for this game. I cannot wait. Looks like it's right up my alley on the type of game I like. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay. So my number 2, and again, like, so again, I really struggle with my number 3 and number 2. Obviously, number 3 is Starfield. Number 2 is this game. When I made this list earlier today, I legitimately stared at my phone for 10 minutes because I didn't know which one of these I wanted to put where. But I did give this to number 2. Number 2 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. As far as we talked about before this podcast was a thing, played Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS5 when the PS5 version came out. And just blew me away. I just absolutely fell in love with it. It's probably one of my favorite games of the last decade. Like, I feel really strongly about it. Really just fucking fell in love with that game. And that for me is what edges it out over Starfield. Just the fact that it's an established series where I kind of want to see where we go from here with the characters. And while I do have an idea based off the original game, we'll see what happens. But Forrest, what is your number 1?
All right, this is gonna be kind of a hot take, but it's gonna have to be Street Fighter 6 because it is a fighting game that I can create characters in, and
the customization means a lot to you.
that is my like bread and butter. Fighting games where I can make shit. That is the golden game for me. No matter what, and it's also, I'll be honest, it's just a holdover until I get 7. As soon as I get Soul Calibur 7, it's also going in the bin. Like, I'm not a Street Fighter guy. I suck at Street Fighter. I don't know the combos. I don't know anything. I'm actually kind of excited to learn some of it because I'm kind of going after a new game that I'm actually trash at. So I'm excited for that aspect of it. I'm gonna learn a little bit because I at least want my creative character to be good. And then also, like, they kind of have that RPG story mode, and I love RPGs in fighting games, which is gonna sound weird, but like I do like them. So I'm excited for that mode. What is it, World Tour mode or something? But
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm excited for World Tour mode, and just to be able to make, and it really looks like you can break the engine with the creations that they saw from the beta. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. TJ in the chat saying Starfield is his number 1. He creates content, so most of his stuff will be around it too. TJ, drop your stuff in the Discord so we can check it out. TJ said this could possibly be the best-selling Street Fighter game. It has a story mode for the casuals, creator mode, adventure mode, has content, a lot of content compared to the past. It's not on TJ's list, but it will be huge for Capcom. I completely agree with that. It's not on my list either, obviously, but it is a game that I think is going to do very well. And again, this is the crazy thing about this year is there's a lot of great games coming out. And yeah, it's just really excited for this year in games. Producer Jeff, your number 1 most anticipated game this year. I feel like I know what it is, but go ahead and hit us with it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like if you take a quick gander behind me here, it wouldn't be hard to figure out my most anticipated game of the year. It is going to be the AEW Fight Forever video game. Now, a lot of people, you know, and I totally understand, they're knocking the game for the graphics. It looks like it's from PlayStation 2. But I actually like that. I think it brings me back to the nostalgia days of back when we would play those games. All I want is the gameplay to be good and to feel like, you know, I'm controlling a character in a wrestling match, and I'll be just fine. I can't wait. Over on the Twitch channel and possibly on this channel, we'll be heavily playing that game.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, my number one game is Minecraft Legends. No, I'm just kidding. It's Zelda. It's Zelda. It's Zelda. What did you expect? You thought I was gonna make a fucking list? You thought I was gonna make a fucking list of games I'm looking forward to this year, and Zelda wasn't gonna be number one? It is.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. TJ was asking for it. Here it is. And I mean, like, look, I don't know how many times I could say it before people get tired of fucking me hearing me talk about it. I love The Legend of Zelda. It is such a franchise to me. They're the best fucking games ever made. You know, what do you want me to say? It's just great stuff. Excellent games, and I think Tears of the Kingdom just looks like the next entry in the Zelda franchise. I think it's going to be an excellent game. I'm just really excited for it. I mean, again, Breath of the Wild for me has issues that I think will probably still be, unfortunately, in Tears of the Kingdom. But, you know, I'm still really looking forward to it. And kind of like what, you know, producer Jeff was talking about, the Zelda games coming out, you know, you get a major Zelda release once every 5 years. And that's, like, it's an event. You know, for me, like, this is something I circle on the calendar. I'll probably take days off of work to at least jump into. You know, I'm very excited. Cannot wait until The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out. TJ saying Nintendo makes quality games when they want to, but damn, I hate Game Freak. Terrible developers. Yeah, it's kind of a shame that Game Freak rests on its laurels as much as they do, because Pokemon is so fucking good.
Yeah.
It could be so much better. It could be
Yeah.
It could be like insane how much better it is. But they just don't.
I don't know. Is it bad to call a developer lazy? I mean, they're not, but at the same time, they're not innovating either. They're just going to the well. They're just living in the well.
Bro, I'm sitting here before the podcast, fucking opening Pokemon cards. I got all my evolutions. Like they got me, man. They like, it's just like fuck every year. Just like
they are not slouches when it comes to marketing. They are marketing madness geniuses.
No, they know how to market like it's nobody's fuck. They've been killing the marketing game since Pokemon came out. Like back in '97 or whatever.
Here's another thing that was just kind of mentioned was like I was trying to get I have a second copy of, I got the double pack, so I gave the Violet to my wife, and I was like, hey, do you want to play it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, is there another Eevee in it? And I was like, no. And I laughed, and she's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, it does not matter how shit that game is. If there is a new evolution in it, doesn't matter what game it is. If there's a new evolution, it will sell solely off the back of a new evolution. They don't need it. Their gimmick is the 3D thing right now. Maybe next year.
Yeah, I mean, again, just that's Pokemon. It sucks, but you know what? And like, I love Scarlet and Violet. I sat here a few weeks ago on the podcast, and I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
No regrets. I don't regret doing that. I still don't.
I was literally playing it this morning.
Yeah.
I still do that, and I'm having like, and you gave it a 9 out of 10, and I'm still like, you kind of complete the Pokedex. You said you were done right before we started.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, bro, I'm fighting competitive. I'm doing all the post game stuff. I'm doing all the terror raids. I'm farming items. I'm making multiples. Like we did I got a golden Gyarados. I got a golden Magikarp on New Year's Eve in the morning, and we evolved it at midnight into a red Gyarados on New Year's Eve.
That's dope.
Yeah, I was like, we did it an hour early because I had to go, you know, spend some time with the family. But on the stream, I was like, all right, guys, we're going to pretend. And we did a fake countdown. And then it's like, 3, 2, 1, 10. Happy New Year. And we named it Supreme Chad because we're Supreme Red.
Yeah. absolutely. All right, so that is the game preview for 2023 for the video game industry. I mean, it's gonna be a crazy year. I'm really excited that we started this podcast when we did, because it's going to be an awesome adventure this year. I mean, I think there are games that all of us are going to play and we're going to talk about. I'm excited to let Jeff review some video games for the podcast. That's going to be really exciting for me personally. I can't wait. But yeah, man, great year. What are you playing right now, Forrest?
Like game wise?
Yeah, game wise. What are you up to these days?
I'm popping between well, when we hit 500, we're gonna have another Soul Calibur tournament, so that'll be a big thing.
Okay.
So Soul Calibur will be coming back, but right now I'm kind of just Pokemon and Monster Hunter. I'm waiting for like a big event or something in Monster Hunter. I'm gonna go do a bunch of the events at once.
Okay.
We're supposed to get an update in February for the next, or no, the next update is February, so we'll be getting that soon. Probably like a new Elder Dragon, more stories and stuff. So, yeah, so when they're releasing it in January, and then they're probably going to announce that event like right after. So it's
Awesome.
I'm also
Producer
thinking about
Jeff,
getting it on PC.
producer Jeff, you still knocking Warzone? Still going
Yeah, I
Warzone?
am still playing Warzone 2, and for anybody having trouble with that skill-based matchmaking, I have discovered a way around it. So if you
what do you
queue
got?
into a game and you die and you spectate who killed you, just set your controller down overnight and walk away. It will continue to queue you into a lobby over and over and over again, and you'll die with 0 kills. And after some people think it's 5 games, some people think it's around 6, 7, 8 games, but whatever. Overnight, you're going to lose so many games with a 0.0 KD rate that the next games you play in the morning are going to be against the worst lobbies you've ever been in. And it is actually hilarious to play in. It's fun.
I don't know if I would consider that like a workaround. It's more
That's
of
a life hack. That's a life hack on
It is, yeah.
howtoeasy.com.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but I was expecting Jeff to be like, well, if you go into the settings and you do this, this, and this, you can disable the skill-based matchmaking. It's like, oh no, you just let your game play for 6 hours and let yourself die over.
Yep,
again.
you got to tank your KD, man. It's the only way you can do it.
No. I'm
And it works in multiplayer too, man. Tank your KD in multiplayer 5 games in a row, and you'll get a nice, easy lobby afterwards.
I'm too prideful for that. I can't do that.
Yeah, it's hard in multiplayer. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, so me right now, I actually, right before we went on the air, I got the platinum trophy for God of War, not Ragnarok, but the last one, 2018. Man, that last Valkyrie fight. I don't know if you guys have completed God of War, but that last Valkyrie fight was fucking nuts. Would not recommend it. But the game itself, loved playing it. I hit the credits right before the new year rolled over. But yeah, finished it today or completed it today. Got all the trophies and stuff like that. Don't know exactly what I'm jumping into next, but by the time we speak next week on the Game Room podcast, I'll have a better idea. All right. I think that's just gonna about do it for us here in the Game Room podcast. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us live. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Producer Jeff, do you want to take us out?
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for hanging out with us, like Rome said there, and thank you, Forrest, for helping us out here tonight with another episode of the Game Room podcast.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
All right. And then this will be uploaded to Spotify and Amazon and Google or wherever you get your podcast entertainment. And until next time, thank you guys very much, and we will see you next time.